Sally, last week the NMAA Board of Directors approved the new athletic calendar. Could you give us an idea of what the new schedule looks like?
I think the main part of the new schedule is we are going to do fall sports, then winter, then spring. In the previous calendar, we were going to do winter, because that's where January start date, and then we were going to try to squeeze in fall there and do spring, but we have shifted a little bit. Now, football would start practice on February 1st, and then the most fall competitions will begin the mid-February time frame. Soccer will be a little bit later. We had to look at soccer later because of the snow in northern New Mexico when it comes to soccer. So we've shifted things. Basketball now is shifted to March through the beginning of May. And then the spring, we're going to remain the same. I have told you from the beginning is, spring didn't get their season last year. So we are doing everything we can really to protect those spring sports this year.
In the process of coming up with another alternate sports calendar, is there any option of scrapping the regular season and just going straight to state because of the shortened time period? For example, is it possible to just have a state championship and no season competition in a sport like Spirit?
We've talked about every scenario, and in talking to our coaches, yes, they still want to go for that blue trophy. We've asked them, do we just have games? Do we just participate and not have a postseason? But that's one thing a lot of the coaches really still want is that postseason opportunity to be a state champion. California just shifted and all they are doing are regular season. So over the weekend I received a couple emails as to should we just play games? But once again, we're not ready to scrap the state championship. Now you did mention Spirit. This year, Spirit, they do not have to compete in any sanctioned competitions, but they will have their one state championship as well. So again, everything is ever changing. We are looking at it. We will talk to the athletic directors. We have received opinions from the coaches, and we will make the best decision for the students of New Mexico.
Will schools be able to work out in pods over the Christmas break?
As of right now, yes. We can still be in our 4-to-1 pods and social distancing and minimal use of sharing of equipment. However, it's going to be a school district decision. Some schools may just shut down totally. There has to be a period in there where there's sanitation and cleaning. And, we still getting direction from the public education department as to what is the winter break going to look like and when can we begin back in January. So I guess, JP, to let you know, it's still to be determined, but as of right now, yes, they will be able to practice in their 4-to-1 pods.
Students struggle with virtual learning. Eligibility will be a concern this second semester. Some teams might not even be able to field a team because of a lack of eligible student athletes. Could the NMAA do a week-to-week eligibility or make other changes?
We're still looking at that, but right now we have 2 weeks to the end of the semester. And we need to focus in on what are the regulations at this point. And the student athletes need to have a 2.0 and no Fs. If they do have one F, then they can use the cumulative provision, and that's for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. If they have that one F and they have a 2.0 cumulative provision, then they'll still be eligible. And I think when we get back in January, once all the semester grades are in and the finals are graded and we know what the grades are and where students are at, I think we'll look at whether there's an appeal process or whether do we change the bylaw to help some of those students that are really struggling with remote learning or do not even have access to internet. So there's a lot of factors that come into play, but right now we just need to focus in on those kids getting those credits at the end of this semester.
Lastly, we're hearing students are frustrated because the start date keeps getting moved. Is there a drop-dead date for athletics being able to start, and why haven't you pulled the plug already?
JP, you said kids are frustrated, and yes, they are frustrated. And if I was a student, I'd be frustrated too. But it's beginning of December still, and our start date is beginning of February. We're still 2 months away. So is it too soon to pull the plug? Yes, right now it's too soon because if we can start at the beginning of February, we can still play all sports in the 2021 school year, and that has been the goal from day one. So we're not ready to say it's over. Now, if we go into mid-January and it looks like we're still high in cases, we're still all red counties, then are we going to be able to play? I think it's mid-January that we need to look and really reevaluate. The calendar is shifted as far as it can right now. We cannot shift. We have 6 and 7 week seasons. We cannot shift, anymore, or they're going to be on top of each other. So I would say mid-January we need to look at it. But JP, the goal is still the same. I'm not ready to give up. And I know kids are frustrated, but deep down they're not ready to give up either. So we just need to stay the course. We need to reevaluate after the winter break. And we need to think in our heads through this holiday season that we are going to play again in Mexico.